was the kid that got all A's in the 1B, and it was always an 89. And my mother would always say, why don't you just put in a little more effort? Just a little bit more. I was like, but why? And now I have a child who's doing the same thing, right? Like, if he had put in just a little more effort into that history project, he wouldn't have squeaked by with a 90. And now I see what my mom was saying. That's not who he is, and that's not who I was. And it's interesting to see that in your child. And so I want what's best for my son. I want him to do well in school, but also I'm starting to see myself, which is a little hard because I do have to say there are times where I'm like, oh, yeah, you should have probably did a little bit better, Lexie. You should have put a little more effort in, Lexie. And I just didn't. I've lived this before. How do we get through this so that you don't make some of the same mistakes I made? Maybe that's what I just have to deal with, that I have to allow him to have the natural consequences.
Hi everyone, I'm Lexie Callies. Do you feel the squeeze of caring for an elderly loved one and school-aged children? Then welcome to the Sandwich Stories. Let's dig in.
Hiya. Hi everybody, it's Lexie Callies with Sandwich Stories. I hope you're having a really great week. And today I'm going to kind of put on my mom hat. It's funny, my son just finished his second 9 weeks. He gets out of school tomorrow for the Christmas break. And so I was looking at his grades, and he squeaked by with straight A's, which I'm really proud of him. He did get straight A's. He worked really hard, but one of his grades is an 89.65. So they rounded it up to a 90, so we got straight A's. And there were a few things that happened this 9 weeks that the teacher was really kind to him. He turned something in late. He should have gotten the highest grade of a 50. His teacher actually gave him full credit, which made his grade go from an 84 to a 95. And I really feel that there's a tiny part of me that wishes that he had still gotten a 50 on that work and had a lower grade. It would have taught him the lesson of time management and making sure things were turned in on time. And she didn't have to do that. I did make him go and thank her for the work, to say thank you for turning that. When he turned in the late work, she still gave him full credit. That was very kind of her. She did not have to do that. And he should be really thankful. I was thankful. She works hard. She deserved someone acknowledging her kindness. So he said he said thank you, and was really grateful for the grade that she gave him. And then, like I said, he got one that was an 89.65. And, there was a tiny part of me that also hoped that he hadn't squeaked by with a 90. Like, I really wish that he had gotten an 89. And part of that is because I have realized in some ways he is me. And it's kind of odd to come to this realization. I was the child at school who did very well. I was intelligent, still am intelligent sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I'm a big dummy, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. But anyway, so when I was in school, I loved school because all my friends were there, and I was very social, and I wanted to hang out with my friends. School kind of came easy to me, and I didn't work very hard at it. Like, I'm the kind of person, and when I was a student, I could show up to class, participate, and not really take a lot of notes, and then remember what was said and who said what and all the information. So I didn't study that often. And then when I did, I didn't study that hard. And I still did well. I was the kid that got all A's in the 1B, and it was always an 89. And my mother would always say, why don't you just put in a little more effort? Just a little bit more. I was like, but why? What's the point? I don't see the point. Like, I'm still doing well. I don't need to be top 10% of my class. I didn't see the point. And now I have a child who's doing the same thing, right? Like, if he had put in just a little more effort into that history project, he wouldn't have squeaked by with a 90. And now I see what my mom was saying. And there are times like this when I miss not being able to talk to my mom about this. There is a tiny part of me that misses the, oh, sounds like Lexie, sounds like you. This is what I went through. Welcome to being a mom for a child who's intelligent and just seems to have luck and does well and puts effort in. But yet again, he does not want or have the drive or the need and to be the best, like to have all 100s. That's not who he is, and that's not who I was. And it's interesting to see that in your child. Now, my husband, he was that person. He was the person that needed the hundreds, did really, really well in school. He was valedictorian of school. He's the smarty pants. And my mom was the same way. She was very much like all A's all the time, worked really hard, did all the extra, everything like that, because that's what drove her. And so I want what's best for my son. I want him to do well in school, but also I'm starting to see myself, which is a little hard because I do have to say there are times where I'm like, oh, yeah, you should have probably did a little bit better, Lexie. You should have put a little more effort in, Lexie. And I just didn't. I joke that if I went to college now, I don't know if I'd ever get in. The way colleges are, oh my gosh, what they're expecting out of children to do, and it's insane. And I don't know if I'd ever get in college. I don't think it would happen. So yeah, I did have one class, and I'm wondering what the class will be for. So my class that beat me down, my brain just doesn't work this way, but I had to take chemistry. Chemistry was so hard for me and never understood it. I studied so hard. I had to retake every test except for one to get the highest grade of a 70. The one test I did not have to retake was the history of the scientists who were prominent in the study of chemistry. That is where I shine. It had to do with history. It had to do with English. It didn't have anything to do with formulas and math and any of those kinds of things. And I got 100 on that. But I had to retake every single test just to get a 70. I passed that class literally by the skin of my teeth. And I tell people this all the time. So I'm really interested to see what the class will be for Shelby in high school. Like, what is it going to be? Like, what's the class that's going to get him that he's going to have to work hard, put the effort in, maybe just to squeak by and get a C, maybe just to squeak by and get a B. Yeah, I'm interested to see what it's going to be because I know he's very social, but he does want to do well. He's a smart cookie. He wants to do well. I want him to do well. And I think that's why it's hard for me to see some of my flaws in him. And I'm going to have to just let him do it. Let him figure it out. Be there for him. Try to guide him. Try to say, hey, I've been there. I know what's going on. I know what you're going through. But maybe we could make some changes and not do it the same way I did it. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. But if it does, I'll be there for him. But yeah, these are just the moments in my life when I wish my mom could commiserate with me and help me through this and hear some of the things that she felt and what she did to push me or not push me. You know, let me make my own decisions. Let me have natural consequences. You don't turn it in, you don't get the full grade. You might not get a grade at all. And in my household, poor grades meant I was grounded all 6 weeks. And when I meant grounded, I meant grounded. No TV, no phone, no going out, no nothing. If it had nothing to do with school and a requirement for school, such as band, I had to stay home. Didn't matter if it was my best friend's birthday, which did happen. That happened one time. Luckily, I was in band, and so that was an outlet. Every Friday night I had to be at the football games in the fall, so that was an outlet for me to get out and see my friends for those 6 weeks. Other than that, I was in lockdown. And guess what? My grades went up. That's 6 weeks. It was a complete turnaround. But maybe that's where Shelby's gonna have to be. I don't know. It's tough. It's just hard to realize your flaws, that you're like, "Oh, ooh, I've seen this before. I've lived this before. How do we get through this so that you don't make some of the same mistakes I made?" And maybe some of the same mistakes have to happen. Maybe that's what I just have to deal with, that I have to allow him to have the natural consequences. And like I said, I kind of hope that there will be a teacher who doesn't give him a 95 when he deserved a 50, because it was late. Yes, the 95, had it been on time, was the full grade, because he was more than 3 days late. Should have gotten a 50. And it was a test grade too. So his Spanish teacher saved his hide. Especially since Spanish is so easy for him. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna see. But yep, this 9 weeks, yet again, straight A's. I am proud of him. He works hard. He does work hard. Maybe not as hard as he should, but yeah, he does it. So like I said, it's just hard to see your flaws in your child and want to save him, but you can't. He's got to learn it on his own. And I wish I had my mom for guidance. I wish I had my dad for guidance. My dad was, I think maybe I wish for my dad's guidance more than my mom's, because he got me a little bit more than my mom did. My mom did not get her first B in life until she was working on her master's, and was very busy at work and just couldn't put the effort in. And so she got a B. And she said, "Oh my God, it's the first B I've ever had in my whole entire life." And my dad and I just rolled each other's eyes like, "Oh, okay, well, welcome to the club." But yeah, I wish my dad were here to help me guide Shelby through this. But, it's life, right? It's being a mom and being sandwiched. Like I said, I'm missing the guidance that some of my friends get from their parents. So anyway, on that note, Mrs. Lincoln, as my mom would say. So the song of the week, it's super silly. It made me laugh. That's why I want to share it with y'all. So there's a duo, 2 different people. Well, one is a duo with another person. So they collaborated on this, and it's called, so the duo is Go Banana Go with Flula Borg. Now, Flula Borg is an actor and comedian out of Germany. Very good looking, actually. I looked him up. Easy on the eyes. But anyway, so the Go Banana Go and Flula Borg did a collaboration, and they came up with a song called Hot Coco, and they did it to the tune of Hot to Go. So it was on the radio, burst out laughing. It's hilarious. And it's HOTCOCO. So Hot Coco. And if you know the song Hot to Go, and then you listen to this, it's very, very funny. So if you want to laugh, if you want your kids to laugh, pull it up, Go Banana Go and Flula Borg, Hot Coco. Super silly. You'll laugh. It's a keeper. It's fun. So I hope you all have a great week, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Sandwich Stories. I really hope you learned some new things and enjoyed it. If you did, tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your sister, tell your dad, tell everybody you know to also listen. Maybe they'll learn some new things, how to help each other out, and find us at Sandwich Stories Podcast. Thanks so much.